All right, we have the California Ultimate Tournament. Today is Monday. Have they announced the next tournament yet? No? Wow. They haven't. So today's Monday's qualifying. I'm going to use this as a practice round, maybe. I don't know. Practice, walkthrough, scouting report, the whole 9 yards. I had family that came in over the weekend I wasn't expecting, and I tried to get in a whole round last night, but I was only able to get in the front 9 before I ran out of time. So that's how it goes. Life, real life. Oh, we got a golden shot. Golden shot. Let's do the hard. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Let's see. I'm not sure whether I'm using a wood or if I'm using the long iron. The long iron's 1.7 per ring. We got to add some on. We'll see. We'll see. Let's see what it goes. What do I got here? 6. Why does that not look right? Yeah, that's not right. It's not. Yeah, we'll see if we can get down there. This is why it's important to watch Tommy's golden shot, so you don't have to dink around like I was just doing, where you're just throwing the ball down there and not winning anything. There you go. That's what happens when you don't have any. You don't do any research on it. I will tell you, if you don't watch Tommy's stuff, that is the best thing to watch, is the golden shot. He will definitely show you how to get it in there. I always like to take the shot every week, but I'm not always a good rep. I need to set up a bag. One of these bags. I'm going to switch this bag up. I'm going to set one of these bags up with an extra mile. This first hole, I actually should practice this first hole. I played it so many times with an extra mile. I think I am going to play it with an extra mile, and I think you can play this first hole with a marlin. Should probably buy some marlins. Let's make sure we have a few in the bag. And then we will go look at it. All right, here we go. Let me look at this hole first. Make sure it is the hole I'm thinking of. It is. All right. There is a max overpower hook shot you can do over here, and I can't remember. I think you're one ring in. Like, you run your ball guide right along this line. Right along the line, and then move it in one ring. Max top spin. Max left-hand side spin. Max overpower hook. Trying to hit in here and roll up onto the green. It almost looks, man, this picture looks different. It doesn't seem like this hole has this area down here and this area up here are the same, but like this area in here where the sand's at, this is totally different than it was when it originally came out. They've modified it several times, but this picture looks different. Do I have any practice tokens? I do. Let me get my calculator rolling. See if we can get out on the course. I'm going to take this shot straight up. I'm not going to add or take off anything. It seems like in the past I've done like a 10%, but it seems like the very last time we played this hole, I did the 10% and that was too much. So I'm just going to do a straight up shot. See how it's 4 sand traps here, and that picture that Tommy had showed one long. It seems like I was 1 ring in, but I'm gonna put in half a ring. 2-6 should be about 1 1/3 rings. Max over power hook. And I got almost all of it. And I need to come in 2 rings with an extra mile. I think I was playing it with my APOC last time, and that's why I was a half a ring off. You can do exactly what my opponent's doing. Bring out just a little bit bigger ball and go straight at it. But where's the fun in that? Hey, anytime you can go out on a hole and you can get an eagle with a marlin, the way my opponent's going at it, you have a shot at the cup where, like, if you were really trying to go for hole-in-one, you have a much better shot there. Much mo better. This is one of those holes you do not, repeat, you do not want to get caught up at the top, because it's a very difficult pitch shot from up top. And that was, shit, I can't believe that wasn't good. That's why we're practicing. Practice, practice, practice. Okay, I was a half a ring and I got stuck in the sand. I'm gonna play it this time, and I'll do 2 rings. Dose, count them. 2. 2, I tell ya. Nice. I can't even remember. I remember this hole in Juniper Point, but I really don't remember the rest of the holes. And I know I've played Juniper Point a bunch. Juniper Point used to be in Tour 2 and Tour 7, so I played this a bunch of times. Bunch. We will go play it. I feel confident that 2 is enough. Not 8 is enough. That was a 70s, 80s TV show. I think that was 70s. This is 2 is enough. Hope everybody's having a good week. It's warmed up here where I live. Warmed up quite a bit. We went from mild to hot. Not super hot, but we didn't have much of a spring. We haven't had. Our winters have gotten longer and longer and longer. Let's see if my opponent can get up there. And they left the wind in. Hit it perfect. Put some curl on it. Getting the run towards the cup. This green used to be super steep. It's still steep, but it's not as steep as it used to be. Doom, 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 doom. Two rings. 4-1. I'm gonna do 2 rings. That's 4-2. And I got it all. I got it all. 2 is enough. Two was good. Actually, 2 and a smidget might have put me running right at the hole. 2 and a sliver. I always come to these holes where there's these max overpower hook shots, and I got to take one just to remind myself. Usually you can take one shot and it's like artillery. You can take one shot and you can see where you're at and you kind of know which way you want to move. It's when we get these brand new holes and we're trying to learn how to do the max overpower hook shot the first time. Those are a little trickier. Do 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 do. Hitting it perfect. Perfecto! Woo! Okay, can't get too excited about hole number 1. We have to get hole number 1. That's the deal. It's too easy. I mean, that fruit is laying on the ground. All you gotta do is go pick it up. You don't even have to pull it off the branch. You can put your bucket underneath of it and it wants to fall in. That's how low a fruit that is. Hole number 2. What is hole number 2? Now we're getting into, I don't remember any of the rest. I'll remember when I see them, but I don't remember any of the rest of the holes in Juniper Point. All right. This hole here has changed so many times I have no freaking clue. There is a hillside here. You can come at this. There's a no move shot that you can do on this hole, and I'm not sure if it's still there. They have changed this hole probably in holes that they have reconfigured. This hole right here might be at the top of the list. They've had at least 4 reconfigurations on it. For the most part, this area is not too much different, but the hole is different. You can come in here and roll down the hill and try and go at it. There is a shot where you can get down here, and there's a ridge that runs right along here. I worked on this shot one time, and then that week all of the wind was running through here, and the sand highly distorts your rings. So if you're setting up here, there's a ridge, this is where you got a flat, and then it comes up to the hill, and this spot right here is this spot right here. And what I was trying to do was run along on the flat part and then bring it back to the cup so that I wasn't really involved with the hill. At the very end down here where you were tailing off, you had to address the hill a little bit, but it was pretty much like a straight up shot at it. And I was killing it. And then that week in the tournament, all the wind was blowing from the sand side, and it was highly distorted rings, and that shot just went to shit. So the no move shot is actually pretty good, but I can't remember how much spin you need to put on it. Or you can address. I'm gonna try and remember to do the no move shot. Let's see if I can remember not to move my stuff. I don't think we need anything special here. I'm gonna take a navigator. I have no idea where I'm at in my club. That's the whole thing about shooting at no move, is I have no idea. I have no idea. So I guess this time I'm gonna have to move it so I know where I'm at. I'm going to take the shot no move and just do a 1-to-1. Maybe. Let's see if my opponent moves it. They got a white ball. Yeah, they're not going to show us. They got a grizzly. And you can pan up a little bit higher so that you can see 2 things at the same time. I'm not sure if they knew that, but you can pan it up higher. You can. That grate to the right actually probably helped them. It gets them up higher up on the hill, and it looked like they were going to overshoot it, and that might have helped them. Might. Yeah, you can pan way up here like this, so that when you adjust the ball, you can see where you're going. There's 1 and 1. Let's do 1 and 1 at one. We're just going to do 1 per ring, so I'm going to do 2.5 rings. Hitting it perfect. Perfecto. Just a bit outside. And that could have been on how I had it set up. You're trying to, that's why I was working on, I had been working on that shot going straight at it, because it's hard when you're at the top of the hill. Like, are you missing, did you miss because you need to make an adjustment, or did you miss because you weren't, like, you're going down that hill and it's rolling with the trajectory, you know, it's rolling with the terrain, and so the terrain can change where it rolls out. So I was trying to go straight out so I didn't have the hill involved, and I could lead my ball guide right to the cup and then make my adjustment, as opposed to trying to do that right there. I think that's why the no move was so popular, because you could do a no move, and if you knew what the spin was, you could just put in the spin, make your adjustment, and it'd go to the same place every time. All right, hole number 3. Hole number 3. What is hole number 3? There's some of these lower tier courses that we have we have. Oh man, this hole right here has been in a couple community cups, and it is a awesome Albi opportunity. If you can get up into here, you've got, and it seems to me in the past we were doing plus 10 on the second shot. By getting up into here can be a little bit of a trick. Having a side spin ball, trying to come through this area, like in one-on-one play, I've played from back here and you just drive it forward, especially if you got lower developed stuff where you can't get up into here or you don't have the ball inventory. You can set it up in here and try and get up into this area and you still have a clear shot. You got to make sure, it's better if you are just doing the layup up in here, that you want the farther to the right you are, the better, so that you can clear these trees coming in. Because the way your arc is going to the cup, here's the flagpole, those trees are right here and they could be in your way where you have to go around them. Ideally, we want to try and get into this area, and the more side spin you have, the better. It's not that you can't come out here and make this with a 2 side spin or a 1 side spin ball, but you take the risk of getting caught up right here. And a 3 side spin ball, you can still get caught up right there if you don't hit it right, but you have a much better shot of weaseling past that and ending up in this area. I think you can do this with just a kingmaker. I don't want to practice. I don't want to practice. I was sorry. I hit the wrong button. I did. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Let's bring a kingmaker. Heartbreaker. Do I have any regular kingmakers? Where the hell are they? They were probably up at the very top. Yes. Blind boy. All right. Yeah, I really wanted to finish the tournament to see if I could get into the top 10. I doubt that I had the rounds going to get me to the top of the board, but getting a top 10, I think it took a 26 to get into the top 10. There was a couple 26s that didn't make the top 10, but I came in with pretty good tiebreakers to try and I didn't use a lot of special balls last week, and it would have been an opportunity to kind of get a little bit ahead. But no, you got to have family that comes over. I'm blue ring off on the left-hand side on the transition. I'm going to try and do this without doing any overpower. It's 1.2 per ring. There's 3.6. And I do have a little teeny bit of overpower. Just a little. Let's see if I can clear the tree. It's always, and you can get up there farther. If I did overpower, you can get up there all the way to the tip, and it is nice getting up all the way to the tip. But we should have a really good shot from right here. Really good. Really good. I've made this hole has been in several of the community cups, and I can think of the one community cup that I won, this hole was in there, and man, you needed to get an albie. Bad. I think that's the first tournament I ever played where I had one round, I think it was in the opening round, where I albied I got 6 albies in one round. And that, my friends, is what we call in the rough. Now, they should have, while bushes are not in play. There's max. There's min. There's mid. Mid club. 1.1 times 2.3 divided by mid thorn. 2.3. 1.1 rings. .1 rings. So we can get lined up. There's the .1. And there's the 1. Hitting it perfect. Dead center perfect. Woo! In the hole. Look at that. Albatross. I think what's funny is in the weekend, in the opening round of that community cup, I got 6 albies, but in the weekend round I only got 4, and I think this was the hole right here that I didn't hit perfect into the cup, or I missed them both times. I shot a 35 in the opener, and I backed it up with a 33. I was like, talk about a stress-filled, because I'd missed those and having no idea what was at the top, and everybody had been shooting monster scores all week. It was an up and down. I was when I made the last shot, and it was the island par 5, just the release of almost passed out. In the hole. In the hole. All right. Didn't get the elusive 7 and 3, but came close. Hole number 4. What is hole number 4? Alright. This is not my favorite par 3, but there's several ways you can go at it. You can come up here and you can use some backspin and go straight at it. I am not a fan of this area in here, because this area is like this. I mean, it's all moguled out, and trying to find a flat spot where you can hit, where you're not, you're in a bowl and you're hitting off the edge, and anything great to the left or the right, or a bad pull for the wind, you're hitting and your ball's going to go and it's not going to go like you want. This area right here is slanted, so it's not much better, but I think you do have a better shot of trying to get hole-in-one. I don't know. You can go at it from straight out here if you get close and try and get up close to it and go at it. But I think I'm going to use this island. And the island's difficult depending on which way the wind's blowing. Let's see which way the wind's blowing. That wind right there is somewhat difficult. 3-side spin ball would be better. Let's go play it. And it seems like we were doing an adjustment on this as well. And let me think. It's got to be, I'm going to start off with 10. I know we were doing something. We'll start off with 10, and that could be, it's probably wrong, but I know we were doing something. I almost feel like it should be higher, but I'll start off with 10 and we'll see. We'll see where we're at. I go first. Minimum. Man, I have to bring a Margolin. I got a little bit of room on minimum club. 2.1. 2.1 divided by 1.2. 2.84. And it hit one ring great to the right because I was trying to rush it because I was running out of time because I couldn't figure out what I was doing. And that would have been really close if it had been perfect. At least it was great to the right. And it's hitting on that hillside, so if it hits here, it's going to make it go a little bit more great to the right. If you hit, like if you were trying to hit right here and you hit low, you're hitting to the left, it's going to go more to the left. If you hit great to the right, it's going to go more to the right on that hill. A perfect might have been, a perfect definitely would have been closer. For sure. That's definitely a hole that you want to know what kind of spin you're putting on it. Have that written down on your notes so you can immediately put that spin on it and then go find the spot. In the hole, birdie. John's turn. Chip in to draw. The Endbringer 6. I used an Endbringer for about a week. That's about it. Not that I have anything personally against the Endbringer. I just like the Rapier better. And there is somebody's got, I'm sure that there's a bunch of videos out there about how to play the Endbringer rule and how the Endbringer rule works. So if you like an Endbringer, you need to watch those videos because how you set the Endbringer up, there's rules for it, and if you know those rules, you can be very successful with an Endbringer. Very successful. All right. First of all, let me turn off. Let's go none. None. All right. I got one open slot. One. Hole number 5. What is hole number 5? Hole number 5. Da, 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 da. All right. Now, you can play this several different ways, and this is you can play out here to this island right here, and I think we're playing the original pin placements. You can play over to here, and the way that the pin is you got your green, and then it makes a shelf, and the flag is up here on the shelf, and so when you're coming at it from this angle, you're coming at it like this. And so here's the shelf, you're coming up to it, and then right at the very end before you get to the hole, you encounter this hill, and it tails off to the left a little bit. And so if you're playing over here, at the very end of your shot, your ball gets pushed off trajectory, and you got to kind of anticipate it. I've hit this shot from over here several times because I played over here a bunch in one-on-one, but in tournament play, I don't play over there. I play this shot out in here. And for a lot of people, this is going to be a prime example. Number one, it carries down in here quite a bit. And this is an example of, if you can get your big topper in this area with its 100 topspin, you will net more distance than if you come in here with your extra mile and you have to pull it back in order to get into the pocket. And I'm not so sure, like, if we have tailwind, man, I really want to go. We'll have to see which one goes better. You do not want to get caught up in here. Trust me. You can get caught up down here. You can overshoot this. You can get caught up right here and recover. You can get caught up over here and recover, but you do not want to get caught up down here. And you do not, one of the things I don't like about this shot, and it's hard to do it, but you can, because it bowls out here in the middle and it kind of wants you to go, it wants to bring your ball to the middle. If you're going to take this shot over here, My recommendation is to use your 100% accurate club. Use your quarterback, use your rock. Use the most accurate club that you have, because if you do hit a great to the left or the right, it's not really gonna affect you. Whereas if you bring your extra mile or a club that doesn't hit 100%, you could get caught up, and if you get in trouble over here, you're in big trouble. Big. Put your hands way apart. Big trouble. Big. And I'm gonna bring, for this amazing shot, I'm gonna bring that ball right there. And it does seem, once again, like the second shot was like a plus 10. It was like plus 10, plus 0.1. It was something very, very. I'm gonna start off with that bag. And then if I need to, if I can, I may switch to my number 3 bag. And with this wind, I definitely want to make sure that I don't overshoot this. This is one of those shots that it's better, it is so easy to overshoot down here in this pocket. They're in their ball inventory, and if they're like my buddy Mike D, they got every single ball that's ever been made, and it's going to take them an hour. If you have a big ball inventory, this is why it's so important to set the shot up. Pick everything you want before you go out there on the course, so you don't have to waste a single second of time. They're leaving the wind in and putting in overpower. And they hit it great, just for good measure. And they overshot it. And they are screwed unless I make an Albie. Okay, I got to pull back a little from the red line, so let me try my number 3 bag. I'm going to give myself 2.5 rings down there. Separation. Times 2.9 divided by 1.8. I'm going to do 2 rings, and I am way over pulling it, but I would rather be a little bit shorter on the other end than hit where my opponent did. I left myself like 2.5 rings, and I did a 25% adjustment just so I made sure, and you can see I still got quite a ways down in there into that hole. There's a spot out there that you can hit, and you can see these little moguls that are out here in the course. See them? I'll circle them. See these moguls? There's a spot out there that you can hit where what happened is we've got these moguls out on the course, and your ball comes flying in and hits right here. And instead of taking a bounce going up, it hits and it slides. And once it hits the slide, then it doesn't do any more bounces. It just flies across the course, and you can get that slide. And if you get that slide, you can end up all the way to the other end, or you can end up in the sand and completely overshoot it. But you can get a lot more distance if you can catch the slide. So it's nice when you do catch the slide. The Grizzly. There's max. There's min. There's mid. I'm at mid club. Mid Grizzly. 1 per ring. .9, 4.29 rings, 4.3 rings. There's 4, 3, exactly. Isn't it perfect? Just a bit outside. Just a bit. I did that at mid club, and at mid club with that Grizzly, it's 1 per ring. But I think when I pushed it forward in order to get my second bounce to clear that rough area, it kind of put me in like maybe the 3/4 club. At max club, it would have been 4.76 instead of 4.3. I probably should have did a max. In the hole. In the hole. Try to do that drive. Try to bring out a big enough ball that you can do that drive without having to do any overpower. Because that is an area when you start doing overpower, and especially on a tailwind day, it really throws the ball forward. And it's super easy to do what my opponent did and overshoot that shot. Super easy. Hole number 6. All right. You know, they changed this hole as well. Somebody came out here one night and cleared and cut these trees a little. And this green used to be about this big, and all of this was fairway. And it was shelved. You had the lower green and you had the upper part of the green. And if you just barely made it on the green, you couldn't putt it hard enough to get it up the hill. You actually had to putt it off the green and then chip it back up. I think now when they changed it that you can make it from anywhere on here, but like down here it might be a max overpower putt. I've seen people try and go through the trees. I've came out and actually tried to come around this way to see if I could use this opening to bring me out here, and I've tried coming out and trying to overpower it and bring it up on the green. I've done all kinds of stuff on this, and for my own game, statistically, I've just had more luck just trying to hit it through the trees, laying it up, and then pitching it up. And this is one of those shots where our eye is telling us from, if you were here, this is A, and you're hitting it to B, this is B, that B is higher, and that we should be taking a little bit of wind off, but it seems like we were adding on wind. But I'm going to take it, I'm going to take this second shot straight up because I don't know. I don't. But I'm not going to bring out anything super special. I know that. I'm going to just bring it tight. Let's make sure we got everything we need. Right? Everything we need. Tighten the king of balls. Now, any of these bags will work. Truthfully. You can, if you get through the middle here, the gap, and you hit it down in there, you can overshoot this and end up in the sand. You can. Seems like I came out here with Dunner one day and we were practicing, and we caught this hole a bunch of times that round, and we were both trying to like pound it around the trees, and he did on several occasions make it around the trees and get up on the green, but for me, just trying to pound it through there and overpower it and get it to go through, it wasn't working. I'm gonna have to put just a titch of curl on that. 1.1, I'm going to add on 10% times 3.4 divided by 1.2. 311. The 311. Here's 311 exactly. And a perfect. We'll see if that was too much curl and it puts me into that tree. I suppose with that right there with the topspin boost ball, just trying not that you could get a little bit closer. It is pretty close. I'm going to take it straight up though. Straight up. And a great to the left is not going to help them, I don't think. At the very end, it might not help them. It might put them right into the... Ooh, they squeaked by. That'll work. That works. All right, where are we at? Where are we? There's max. There's mid. I'm in mid club. If I can get lined up to the freaking hole. 4.3 divided by 2.4. 1.8 rings. There's 1.8 rings. Hitting it perfect. Perfect! In the hole! Woo! In the hole! Look at that. Looky, looky. I need them to make this because I didn't clear a slot, so I don't want to have to. I don't want to win a chest and not have a slot for that chest. We're farmers. Got to respect the farm. Oh, they missed it. Just outside. Just outside. Damn it. Now neither one of us want anything. Dag nabbit. Let's go clear a slot. Let's make sure that shit doesn't happen again. I was sitting there when I got ready to play and I was like, man, I'm forgetting something. Now I remember what I was forgetting. Let's open up a couple. Let's make sure we have some empty slots here. And we'll just do two. Two will be fine. Two. Alright, what are we on? What hole? Hole number 7. Hole number 7. Ooh. Now, there's a bunch of ways that you can attack this hole. I've seen people do rough bumps from over here. I've seen people do rough bumps from over here. I've seen people try and get up close to it. And the hole's like this. We got the sand down here. So we got the sand, and then it rolls a little flat, and then it comes up the hill, and it comes up the deal. And so my typical MO is I like to wedge my rings in here. I think we're taking this with a sniper. It might be with a grizzly, but I'm pretty sure it's with a sniper. I like to wedge my rings up here, and it puts me down here, like right in this area, right before it goes up the hill. And I want bounce number 1 to be here. So my ball comes flying in as bounce number 1, and then comes up the air, and then bounce number 2 is at the top of the hill, and then it rolls out to the cup. And I try and miss this hill entirely, instead of hitting on the hill, because if you hit on the hill, sometimes you can get an irregular bounce, and I try and avoid areas that give me that kind of crap. And it seems like there wasn't a lot of spin on it either. It was just a little teeny bit of spin, and once again, I think we were doing maybe like a 10% adjustment, like 10%. We're reinventing the wheel here, but that's the deal. I'm gonna take for this amazing shot that I'm gonna pull off right here. Amazing shot on a par 3. All I gotta do is hit it straight forward. Shit, this hole is. You can get in a little teeny bit of trouble here. I don't think I need the spin, but I'm gonna take a quasar just in case. That should work. And I'm pretty sure we were doing 10%. Busta? Are you getting them squirrels? Did you scare them? Hey, bro. That's where they live. He is risen. I like to wedge it in right there. And it seems like it's just a little bit of spin. 2 top spin, no side spin. 4.7. It's 5.17 rings if I'm at max. Am I at max? I'm close enough. Close enough. 5.17 rings. I gotta hurry because I'm running out of time. Hitting it perfect. I'm not sure how much time left I had, but I didn't have a lot. Is that bounce number 1? Boom! And I'm not so sure I was kind of like an in-between, but I did a max pull right there. We got a good shot, but you can see what I was talking about, where you're hitting at the bottom here, and then your next bounce comes up and you're all the way over and you're hitting up in here, and you're running at the cup and you're avoiding this hill altogether. I've seen people have success. My buddy Dale Appleby does the shot from over here where he does the rough bump, bringing it back around. This shot has a very straightforward opportunity for a hole-in-one. And so a lot of times the rough bumps are definitely the way to go, but because you don't get any secondary wind effect, if you can make it to the spot and you hit it perfect, you got a really good chance that it's going to roll out right. My opponent was close for the eyeball. For the eyeball. Perfect. This is a whole, man, all of the par 3s here, but the middle par 3 I think is the one for me. I have made a few hole-in-ones on it, but not very many. But this one right here, I have made a bunch of hole-in-ones on this hole. It is definitely a hole-in-oneable hole. It's not a gimme, but it's definitely got some opportunities. For myself, I just like to play that area down on the bottom. But if you like doing rough bumps and you've got some, I'm pretty sure it'll take like a 3 side spin ball to do the rough bump on the left. There are some options. Hole number 8. Hole number 8. All right, we have a shot right here. Now let's break this into 2 halves. We got the shit half and we've got the good half. This half over here is what we play in one-on-one if the wind is blowing anywhere, side wind, tailwind. But if we've got a big headwind, usually in one-on-one I don't bring out a big enough ball to play over here. So I'll just hit it over here and then bring it back up. If you do play over to this side right here, obviously the farther you can get up, the better. It's hard to go down, you know, you draw a line from the tee box to where, you know, like you'd really like to be right there and you draw a line through that. It is hard to make this kind of an angle to get around the bend. You can usually get out into this area right here, or you can get up against the rough here and give yourself a little bit more distance. And the reason you're trying to do that is if you're out in here and you're going towards the cup, you've got a little bit of a window right here and you've got a little bit of a rough. There is a rough bump that you can do here. If you have to involve that sand, this is one of those rough bumps where you can do everything perfect and then it just never works out. It's because you have to put like a half a ring back into it. It's a difficult rough bump in this area. But if you want to try and get on the green in one, you can do that miraculous feat by using this island right here and trying to get bounce number 1, bounce number 2, bounce number 3, hit the rough, bleed out onto the green. And you can do this with a 3 power ball as long as we don't have a headwind. If we have a headwind, you may have to adjust your shot just a little bit and bring out a bigger ball so that you have a little bit of room, because it's not a good area to have to do overpower. I mean, it's not that you can't make it if you do overpower, it's just that's one of those areas where you want to try and set the shot up, hit it perfect, no overpower. Give yourself every opportunity to get your bounces right. I'm 100% sure we were doing, or I have done in the past, at 10% on the drive. And I have no idea what you should do on the second shot, because it's either get on the green and one and make your putt or make your pitch and move along, little doggy, or you're taking some shot that you don't normally have to take. We have great opportunities here. Great. I'm going to take that bag, and I'm going to take a Kingmaker. Heartbreaker. And we'll see what we can get done. If we can get out on the course. It's a big if. Are they going to let us out on the course? I don't know. We've been drinking coffee. They might not let us out there. I'm out of coffee now, so. Maybe my opponent goes first. Let's check my opponent out. They're sporting some jewelry, some golds and some bronzes. Win or bust. 20,000 games played. They left the wind in to push them forward, and they're using a white ball, so they're saving themselves a little bit of resources. I like to set this shot right here is so important that if you use the white ball on it and we have a big headwind day or a sidewind day and you can't use the wind, now you're doing overpower, and you got to do something different every time. You got to reinvent the wheel every single round. That it's better. 2.2 divided by 1.2. It's 2 rings. It's better to standardize this shot and just bring out a bigger ball. This is we really want to make this hole. Oh, and I hit it great. I'm not going to make it. It's the first bounce will be fine. It's this bounce right here that'll be bad. I was trying to get greedy and go for the hole-in-1. So my second bounce, usually I like to keep my second bounce in the middle of that fairway, so if you do hit it great, it's not that big of a deal. But we really do want to standardize that and try and make it so that we don't have to do any overpower. The other thing you could do on this hole too, if you wanted to hook it up, is you could bring out a bigger ball. Like, you don't need a bigger ball if you got an extra mile or an APOC, but you could bring out a big ball and use your big topper, because your big topper's got topspin. So if you find yourself without the topspin to bring yourself over there, you could use your big topper. Hitting it perfect. In the hole! Woo! Recovered. That shot works. Good game. Good game, my man. We both recovered. Good luck to you, too. All right. What do we have going on here? A 14. And we're in 9th place. What's the difference? It's because I haven't played enough holes. I have no idea what's at the top. We'll wait. We'll wait and see if we can. I'm thinking that these holes right here this is like a freaking community cup. So you have to shoot, like, if I don't get an Albie here, if I'm just looking at trying to get an eagle, we're at 16, and I'm thinking this is going to be one of those weeks where you need to get a 18. And this hole, man, oh man, oh man. I had decided that the last time I played this, what you'll see a lot of people do is try and lay up right here. And as easy as it might seem to just lay up right there, it seems like I was like a 50-50. Like 50% of the time I made it and I was laid up and I had a straight shot forward, and 50% of the time I was in the shit. And so I was like, well, hell, if it's 50-50, I might as well go for it and see if I can get myself down onto this stretch down here and really go for it. Like bring out a 5 power ball and like really, really go for it. Because there's times you can get caught up here where you could be in serious trouble. And if I got a 50% chance on this shot that I'm going to end up in the shit, I might as well go for it and see if I can end up here. I'm going to do that again. I'm going to. I'm playing this hole. I know several ways that I've played this hole in the past, and I'm gonna go for it. Why not? Why not? I'm going to do 10% on the drive times the wind divided by wherever I'm at my club, which will be max, which is 1.2 per ring. So 1.1 times the wind divided by 1.2. Here we go. Power 5 ball. Let's blast it. I almost think maybe I should do more than 10% on the drive. If I can find an opponent. If. This will be the hole that I'm going to work on this week. The deal is that I just don't have a shot. I figured out during one tournament there's a max overpower hook shot that you can do. And I can get over. I can. Now the question is, how much of an angle can I get? I'm going to do that angle right there. Where does that put me? Wind fully extended. See on the right hand side, my ball guide's just barely touching the fairway or the rough. 3.4. 3.4. It's 3.11 rings. And I don't like that. Now I'm going to push the forward distance back on. Hitting it perfect. And I needed to be a little bit, maybe a ring and a half to the left of where I set up. So this area right here by this tree, on the other side of this tree, the sand, see if my opponent gets down there low enough, you can see right here where the little sand trap comes like this, and my white ring was right off the edge of that. I need to go to the left of that about a ring and a half, 2 rings. And that's only going to work on days that we have tailwind so that we can get up there. We can get that trajectory worked out though. We can. Wow. Where am I? There's max. There's mid. There is a rough bump that you can do here, but I'm not sure I'm brave enough today to do that rough bump. Four, 7. I'm going to do 2.5 rings. That's 5. Isn't it perfect? Just recover, get it in until we can get our trajectory worked out. And that'll only work on days when we have a positive wind, something that'll help push us that last little teeny bit to get up there. And you need an APOC. Otherwise you can do exactly what my opponent did, and you can just lay it up on that island. That's the thing about this hole, is I'm just trying to find some other way to play it. Man, how many freaking rings are you going to move that? They move that like a freaking S, And that grate to the right is brutal. I mean, that helped them. That was like a 2-ring grate to the right, and it helped them that much. And they were still that far off. They were moving it back, and they were moving it like this, and it's like, I just do not understand the whole eyeball. At least if you're going to eyeball it, it would seem to me that you'd want to face your screen so that the wind was blowing directly in front of you, so that when you eyeballed your pool, you were at least eyeballing in the same exact plane. We'll take the trick shot, buddy. That hole right there is the least favorite of the holes on this course. There's a 17. I'm sure they left some out there. This is going to be one of those crazy ass weeks. They had one birdie. That means they got 2 hole-in-ones. That's awesome. Awesome. I didn't get any hole-in-ones, but I did get an Albie and got all the eagles. In my personal game, what has gotten me wins over the years is the par 4s. Trying, like the par 4s are low-hanging fruit, and trying to get these par 4s so that you can get eagles on them. And then the other shots that you can pick up, like this Albie, are the shots that really will help put you up. But there's 2 of these par 3s that we have serious opportunities to get hole-in-ones on. I like the last par 3 the best. Number 2, I've made a lot of hole-in-ones on it, but it's a little wishy-washy with the hill. And the middle one is not one of my favorite par 3s. The other par 5, I think we have a great opportunity on as well. That last hole right there, it seems like the last time we played that hole, I did figure out where to set it up out here so that I was flowing down this course, and I was able to get like right off the green. Not quite on it, but pretty damn close. Around this tree, coming around, there's the sand, the rough area runs like this, and I had my white ring right off of that transition so that my entire ball guy was in the sand. Well, most of it. And my white ring was right there at that transition, and I need to go that direction, 2 rings. So that'll put me, I'll have to use something over here as a marker. So like if my ring set was like this, where I was touching it, and I, over here, when I move it over, it might be, I'll set it up so that I'm in the same spot and see where I'm at over here, and then I'll move it over 2 rings. See if that'll help my trajectory. But that's only going to help me on days when I have some kind of positive wind. I need to be able to put some wind back on so that I can catch the fairway here. All right, there you have it. There is a scouting report, walkthrough, playthrough, practice round, all in one, and I qualified. I like these holes. I've played these holes so many times, but that last hole, for whatever reason, I don't know what it is about that last hole, but it seems different. It's the same. It's been in that configuration for a long time, but every time I get to it, it just seems like a surprise. Like that hole's not part of the rest of the course. But I'm going to be aggressive on that hole. I might as well be. Even on days when we have headwind, I'm still going to try and go. What I'm still going to try and do is, if I have to bounce over from here and I have to pull back on a headwind day, this might be the big topper day where I bring out the big topper, so I get bounce number 1, bounce number 2, and I'm still trying to get over to the other side. And there is a max overpower hook shot that you can do on this hole. I almost feel like this type of max overpower hook shot trying to come down here is one of those ones where we do the reverse hook, where you put on maximum topspin, and then we're going to the left, but instead of putting on left-hand side spin, you actually put the right-hand side spin on, so that when the ball hits the first time, then it tries to straighten it out so that it doesn't keep going around the bend, so you can get a straight run through the gap. All right, there you have it. That was the California Ultimate Tournament. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being a subscriber. If you're not a subscriber, hit subscribe, hit the like button, ring the bell, do all that good stuff. Leave me a comment, and I will see you on the next one. Stay safe, my friends.